Hey everyone, it's Tracy here, back with another holiday card series video for you. Today I'm going to be using a couple different lawn fawn stamps. I'm going to start with this interlocking backdrops, and I'm using the hexagon shaped, and then I have a piece of watercolor cardstock. I'm just going over the watercolor cardstock with my powder bag from Inkadinkado. This is just to prevent any static that might be on there so my embossing powder doesn't stick where I don't want it to stick. So I'll go ahead and ink up my stamp with Versamark ink. You just want to get it nice and inked up so that you don't miss any spots. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp it once onto my watercolor cardstock. And then the embossing powder that I'm using is the Rouge from it's American Crafts Zing embossing powder. And it's like a red color. A little bit more pink, I guess you could say, than red, but it's definitely red enough for me. So I'll go ahead and tap off the excess. And then before I heat emboss it, I'm going to stamp it again with the same stamp just right below it. And the reason I didn't stamp them both at the same time and then do the embossing powder was because I couldn't really see where it was stamped the first time, so this just ensures that you get it lined up right the first time. And then I'll go ahead and do the same thing and just put more embossing powder over that. And then that's the stamping that I'm going to be doing for that part, and then I will go ahead and use my heat tool to melt that embossing powder. Alright, so then I'm using two different colored distress inks. I have Shabby Shutters and Mowed Lawn. And then I have this water brush. And I'm actually going to add a little bit more water after I put these onto my craft sheet, just to kind of help it, and then the ink moves around better. And I'm just going to kind of color in the red hexagon area, not the whole background. And I'm using two different colors just because I want the two to kind of blend a little bit. So you'll see me take a little bit of the Mowed Lawn ink and then a little bit of the Shabby Shutters. And it just helps the colors blend together a little bit more. And it kind of creates your own color. So if you need a certain color distress ink, you can always just play with them and kind of make your own color. And you can tell I'm not trying to go in the lines or anything. I really want it to have that watercolor look to it. And then once I'm done, I'll go ahead and heat that and dry it with my heat tool. Alright, so it's completely dry. Now I'm going to move on to the stamped image. This is the Parumpa Pum Pum stamp set from Lawn Fawn. And I'm going to stamp the drum with my Tuxedo Black Memento ink on a piece of Coordination's 110-pound cardstock. And then I'll go ahead and heat that so that I make sure the ink is dry, and then I'm going to color that in with my Copic markers. Alright, so after I colored those in, I went ahead and fussy cut it out. So now I can continue on with my card. I'm going to take this May Arts Natural Twine and I'm going to I'm going to do it the cheater way, but I'm going to cut 2 pieces of this twine the same size, and then I will tape it to the back of my card. I just find this an easier way to tie bows, and I suggest it if you really struggle with tying bows on your cards and trying to get them perfect. I think it's much easier to do this than wrapping the twine around the card. So I'll go ahead and tape both of those onto the back, and then I will cut another piece to use as my bow. And once I get my bow perfect, I'll just trim off the ends. And then it's time to stamp my sentiment. I'm using the same stamp set, and I'm using the one that says Parumpa Pum Pum on it. I don't know about you, but The Little Drummer Boy was my favorite song, Christmas song when I was little, so it just made me want to use that one. And I'm going to stamp that right below my hexagons with my Tuxedo Black Memento ink. So now I'm going to go ahead and attach the drum onto my card. And I'm using these foam squares. These are from Best Creation, and these are the large ones. They do have the smaller ones that you'll see me using quite often. And then I'll go ahead and adhere that down. And then I can go ahead and attach that whole card front to my red A2 size card base. This is just a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper cut in half. So you can get 2 cards out of one 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. And I'm using my ATG gun to just put adhesive on the back and then glue that down into place. And then the last step, I'm going to add a few of these red sequins. And I'm just going to kind of scatter, I think I did 4 or 5 of them, 4 of them. And then I will adhere them into place with my Tombow Mono Multi Glue, which is my favorite adhesive to glue sequins. You can also use the Multi-Matte Medium or Glossy Accents. And then that is my finished card for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel. I will see you next time. Bye!